The topic for World War I that we are teaching you about is the aircraft. We will tell you 4 different things about the aircraft. One of the topics is about the firefighters in the aircraft. The second topic is the bombers that were in the aircraft. The last 2 topics are about the dirigibles and the aces. We are also going to be comparing the aircraft for World War I to the modern day aircraft. From the following information, hopefully you will learn some new things about World War I aircrafts.
The fighter plane was extremely difficult to make because there was so much stuff that the gunner has to shoot around. The fighters in the planes themselves had to make everything work properly. At first, Vickers tried the destroyer, but it was nose-heavy and crashed on its first flight. Louis Strange made the first flight, where the gunner would stand up and shoot. Strange would finish the war as a wing commander. In the Second World War, he flew in the Reserve Volunteer Squad and set up both the Airborne Forces Parachute Training Course and the Fighter Convoy Defense Unit. Roland Garros became the first ace when he shot down his 5th plane, and the term is still used today.
Bomber planes played a huge role in World War I. They were very important in the strategies of both sides. Bombers were very powerful, and they were able to carry very large bombs. The first time they started to use bombers in the war was 1912. Britain's most famous bomber was the Handley Page 0400. This plane was able to carry a load of 2,000 pounds while traveling at a speed of 97 miles per hour, and it was able to travel for over 8 hours at a time. The importance of these aircrafts were that they were easy to fly, so it was easier to drop bombs on other countries. The bombers were the aircrafts that carried out the offensive policies of the war. Their main purpose was to reduce the other side's resources, which helped them win the war. The bombers would take out factories, power stations, and dockyards. The bomber planes also helped give a nice aid to the ground forces of the war.
The aircraft used in World War I showed that planes could be utilized in the war and set the foundations for modern aircraft used in wars today. For example, guns were first mounted onto planes during World War I, which then had to be fired through the propeller on the front of the plane. Today, planes are equipped with much more advanced weapons, but the basis of this was established in World War I. Since World War I, planes have become more complex. During the war, airplanes had to be easy to fly, as most pilots had little to no training before the war. Today, however, aircraft are more maneuverable, powerful, and much more difficult to control, and pilots receive vigorous training. Modern planes have features such as turbojet engines, weapons that can fire 6,000 rounds per minute, and technology that tracks targets of interest around the plane.
In conclusion, as you can see, the aircraft played an important part in World War I. The fighters and bombers did an important role in the aircraft. The dirigibles were another thing that was in the aircraft. The aces helped the aircraft a lot. Then, as you can see, the modern aircraft have changed a lot from the aircraft in World War I. I hope you learned something from what we just told you.